Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching my videos and for your comments and likes. It means a lot to me to see I have your support. It just motivates me to keep going with this work, and thank you very much. In today's tutorial I want to show you how to make these super cute booties. They're size 0 to 3 months, so they'll fit a newborn up to 3 months. Maybe a bit longer as well, depends, because every baby's different. I say they're quite easy to make. They're not super complicated, and I have explained every single step, and I really hope you're gonna have a go at doing them. They're super cute. I don't know if the camera catches it, but they're super cute. You can make them in white and blue if you prefer. I think they'll make a great gift. So they have a tiny cable here in the front, and then the type of work ensures a really great fit and very comfy for the babies. I think they're really lovely, and I hope you're gonna have a go of trying this design. This is my own design. Hopefully soon you'll find a written pattern available on my shop. You have description in the video description, so for those of you that prefer to have the written instructions and the written pattern, like row by row, I'm hoping I'm gonna have time to do that soon, but I cannot promise. Anyway, I'm preparing the next tutorial, a baby bonnet in exactly the same style, so to go with these. So for those of you that will want to have I don't know, want to try and make like a set, a newborn baby set or something, the bonnet is super cute. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I really hope you're gonna have a go at doing these. And please don't forget to leave me a comment or a message. Let me know if you have any problems, if you need any help, if you get stuck with the pattern. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Just reach out to me and I'll reply to you as soon as possible. I hope you have a go, and I hope you like them. So enjoy! So today we're gonna make a pair for this little booty or beauty. It's a super cute design. I think took me a while to come up with it, but I think it turned out super cute, and I can't wait for us to do a pair for it together. For that we're gonna need first of all some yarn, and I have here unfortunately I've lost the label, but I have used this yarn before, and it's half cotton, half premium acrylic baby yarn, so it's very suitable for our project. And some contrast yarn. You can pick whichever color you prefer. Today I picked pink, so I'm making a pair of girly shoes. This yarn, it's actually a lot thinner compared to the white one, because I just wanted a touch of color, so that's why I picked. I really like this pink, and also it's not going to be extremely visible, so I based my choice on that. Needles, knitting needles. Today I'm going to use size 3.25 millimeters. I hope you can see. Yeah, so you can use straight needles as well. You don't have to have cables. It's just I prefer cable ones, but you can use the straight ones, no problem. And for the finishing touches and the cast on, I'm gonna cast on using a crochet. So I have here 3.5 crochet, because I want this edge, we're gonna start from here, I want this edge to be a little bit loose, so I'm using 3.25 millimeters needles, but I'm gonna use 3.5 crochet to cast on. Next I have a 3 millimeters and a 2.5. The 2.5 is for this crochet cord, As I said, the yarn is quite thin, so it's suitable for this one. You're just gonna have to adapt depending which type of yarn you're gonna use. You're gonna decide to use for these. You can adapt the size of your crochet and the needles also. If you're using a different type of yarn, using for example size 3 if it's a thinner yarn, or a size 3.5 if it's a thicker one, maybe, or maybe you want a different texture. I don't think the difference in size is gonna be huge, so it does allow some flexibility from this point of view. So depending which yarn you have and which needles, if you don't have 3.25 you can use size 3 or 3.5. Right, so I got the crochets, and of course we're just gonna need some stitch markers, optional. You might want to use them, you might not. A pair of scissors, a centimeter, that's we're gonna need. A sewing needle as well. I have the ones with a large opening, so makes my life easier. And also, if you're gonna choose to do these tiny pom-poms like I made, you're gonna need a pom-pom maker. Any type of pom-pom maker will do. I got this type, I got this one. This is the smallest size that I have for the round ones, but I still believe it's too big. Actually, it's too big and I'm gonna waste a lot of yarn. So I have this. Any type of pom-pom maker will do. I also have this one. I don't know if you're familiar with these things. Come out and just move them around. Okay, so we'll sort this out when we get to it. If you don't have a pom-pom maker, or you don't want to use a pom-pom maker, you can just crochet a simple cord. They're still gonna be extremely cute, or you can use some ribbon, whichever you prefer. Oh, and a row counter. I recommend you to use something like this, or make a note of the number of rows you're making so you can make an identical pair. Nothing else. If you don't have a pom-pom maker, do not worry. Truth being said, for these ones I actually used a totally revolutionary tool, and that is a fork. Just a normal fork. We're gonna wrap some yarn around it, we're gonna tie it, and then we're gonna shape it into a pom-pom. So if you don't have a pom-pom maker, don't worry, this is universal. So this is perfect. Okay, let's begin work then. To begin, we're gonna cast on using 3.25 IM. We're gonna cast on 34 stitches. To do that, I'm gonna use a crochet. If I can find the end of this one. There we go. I recommend you to leave a bit of a tail so you can sew the shoe at the end. Mine's got you probably can see, I'm not the best when it comes to sewing, so it's not one of my skills. Right, make a slip knot as you normally do for anything. Okay, and let's begin. My 3.5 crochet, we're gonna cast on. I'm using this method, but you feel free to use any method you prefer, just to cast on 34 stitches to begin work. Okay, this is in the way. To do this, I think I've showed you before this method. Maybe I'll start again, just in case you're new on my channel and you haven't seen it. So I made the slip knot, it's on my needle. This is the end attached to my ball of yarn. I'm just gonna make a loop here like this, insert hook, tension your yarn and just yarn over, pull through. That's it. Yarn over your needle, pull through. It's basically slip stitches. This is the method I like to use, especially for baby shoes, because it gives me a neat edge on the folded part. So whichever method you prefer, just cast on 34 stitches to begin. I'm gonna carry on. I have my 34 stitches, yeah, and first row, no matter which method you used for casting on, I like to make a first row which I call like a base row, which I don't count for pattern or for anything. It's just to get the tension right, basically, and even. So for this one, I'm going to consider it as a wrong side row. So I'm just going to slip the first stitch and then purl all the stitches except for the last one, which is going to be a knit. So this one is just the base row. Just purl all the stitches except for the last one, which is a knit. So this is going to give a beautiful edge on the front side of the work. So I'll continue to purl till I reach the end of my row, and then we're going to introduce the pattern. Okay, finish my base row, and now we are on the front of the work, and I'm going to start counting the rows as well. So this will be row number 1, and we're going to introduce the pattern. We are here, and we're just going to start now. And my choice of pattern for this this design was the moss stitch. I think it's called moss stitch. It's a very simple and absolutely beautiful stitch, reversible as well, so probably most of you are familiar with it. It's very easy to make as well. So to begin that, I'm just going to slip the first one, then purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one. So this is what we are going to do until the end of the row. I'll meet you at the end. I got to the end of my row. I got 2 stitches left. I've just purled one, so now I'm going to knit one and knit the edge. So I always knit the edge stitch, and I slip the first one. Second row, turning around, we are on the back of the work. This pattern is also reversible, so it's not a big, so I'm just gonna mark here that this is row number 2. I advise you to keep a number when make a note of the number of rows that you're gonna make, so you can do identical for the second one. Okay, slip the first stitch. Now to create this effect, moss stitch, we're just gonna do the opposite. So on this one, this is a purl, so we're gonna do a knit. Next one, it's a knit. I hope you can see. Yeah, when it's a V like this, that's a knit stitch. So if on previous row it was a knit stitch, now I'm gonna do a purl, and so on. So it's the opposite. This was a purl, I'm going to do a knit. This was a knit, I'm going to do a purl. Now a knit and purl. It's exactly the other way around like we did it on the previous row. This was a purl, I'm going to knit now. And purl and knit again, purl This was a pearl, we're gonna do a knit. This one was a knit, now it's gonna become a pearl, and you just carry on like this until the end of the row. Got 3 stitches left on my needles. This was a pearl, I'm gonna do a knit. This was a knit, now it's going to be a pearl, and the last stitch, which is going to be a knit. And this was the second row. That's the moss stitch. It's very easy, it's only 2 rows repeat, and of course after a few more repeats it's gonna start looking like this. You can't tell at the moment because it's only 2 rows, but after a few more repeats it's gonna be pretty. I'm just gonna carry on. So at this point we've done 2 rows. I'm gonna carry on and do 14 more rows exactly the same, so just back and forward, just work the opposite like you did on the previous row. So slip the first one, this was a knit, I'm going to do a pearl. Next one was a pearl, now I'm going to do a knit. I'm gonna be a pearl, now it's going to be a knit, pearl. So I'm going to continue like this for another 14 more rows. So altogether I'm going to have 16 rows of moss stitch. Completed my 16 rows with this pattern. My work now, it's measuring about 4.5 centimeters. Yeah, so nearly 5 centimeters, depends on the tension you're working with, and that would be like 2 inches. Yeah, nearly 5 centimeters. Next one, it's row number 17. I'm just gonna change it here, and this row now is going to be a wrong side row, because this is the part that's gonna be folded over, so this part. So what was the front side of the work until now it's going to become the wrong side of the work. Row number 17, slip the first stitch and then purl all stitches. Purl all stitches all the way to the end of the row. Oops, sorry, missed it. And we purl all of them, and we're gonna knit the last one. So continue to purl. Last 2 stitches, purl, and knit the last one. Okay, next row, row number 18, it's the row when we're gonna make some yarn overs. So we're gonna create some little holes for our cord here. We are here at the moment. Okay, in order to do that, I'm just gonna mark the 2 central stitches. We got 2 central stitches. We're gonna base our central pattern on these 2 central ones, and I want to make sure I have symmetrical holes, so when you tie a bow here, it's exactly in the middle of the booty of the shoe. You don't want it going left or right, or you just want to be symmetrical with the pattern as well and to be in the middle. For that, I'm gonna use some stitch markers. If you don't have any, just use some contrast yarn. Few strands should be enough, or you don't have to use them at all. It's up to you. So I'm just gonna mark my 2 central stitches. We started with 34, and I'm gonna mark 2, so that will give us 32 divided by 2. That will be 16 stitches each side. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I got one. I'm going to place a marker here, and then I place a marker here. So I've kind of isolated my two central ones. I just want to make sure I do it all symmetrical. I hate one do work. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. That is lovely. Lovely, lovely. Now I'm going to leave 3 stitches on each side of the central ones, and actually I'm going to use blue ones, it'll be easier to see. It'll be here, and 1, 2, 3. I'll have another one here. Okay, so 3 stitches on each side. Where I place these blue ones, we're going to have some yarn overs. I'm going to leave 3 stitches at the edge, 3 here and 3 here. So I'm trying to make symmetrical, even if it's not going to be perfectly even a number of stitches between the holes, at least I will have a symmetry. So I should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stitches here between these two markers. So I'm going to place another marker halfway through. 2, 4, 5. I'll put one here, and I'll do the same here. 2, 4, 5. There we go. 2, 4, 5. Yep, happy with that. So these are my two central ones, the stitches. I've marked 16 stitches each side of the two central ones. We left 3 and 3 each side, so I'm gonna make a yarn over, and the same here. So in total we're gonna have 2, 4, 6 yarn overs, which means 6 tiny holes. So exactly like this one. This one has 6 holes, and here on the central pattern we have 1 hole on each side. Okay, and if we have an even number of holes, then we can start putting through our cord from one side, and it's going to come out on the other. That's a little trick that you can use for other projects when you have to do any kind of symmetry, or maybe you want to apply some bows or anything like that. So this is row number 18. Slip the first stitch, knit 2, 1, 2, go to the marker, we're gonna do a yarn over, knit 2 together, just simple knit 2 together, then knit 3, 1, 2, 3, we have a yarn over again, just gonna drop them as I go through. Yeah, so we had the marker means we're having a yarn over, except for here is just to mark the stitches. So again, I had the yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 3, these 3, yarn over again, knit 2 together, then knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. I go to another marker. Okay, I'm just gonna take it out. This means a yarn over. These are the central ones, the central yarn overs where the bow is gonna come out. Yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3. I go to a marker, but this only for us to see where the central stitches are. So I have 2 central stitches. I'm not going to do any yarn overs. I'm just going to knit them like this. Take this one out, knit the next 3, 1, 2 and 3, and I go to the next blue one, which is gonna be another yarn over. For these two central ones, I haven't done any decreases, so I haven't done any knit two together, because I actually want to increase our number of stitches by 2. So that's why I've skipped it, in case you're wondering. At the end of this row, we're gonna have 36 stitches. If you remember, we started with 34. After this row, we're gonna have 36, but that's on purpose, so do not worry. Okay, I got a yarn over again. Yeah, so we had the yarn over here, then we knitted 2, 4, 6, 8. This was our yarn over, then knit 8, then yarn over again, knit 3. Now we're just gonna work like in a mirror. 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together. Okay, go to another marker, just double check, make sure I've done a yarn over. I've done yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, and one more yarn over, knit 3, 2, 3. So we shall have 6 yarn overs, 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, so this was row number 18, and turn around and start row number 19. On the back of the work, we're just gonna purl all the stitches except for the first and last. So the first I slip, then purl all stitches. When you get to the yarn overs, so here I have one, just do a normal purl, do not twist it, because we want a hole. Yeah, carry on, purl, purl. I got another yarn over, just gonna do a normal purl. Yeah, so we end up with these little holes. Continue to purl, yarn over, got one, so again a normal purl all the way to the end of the row. I'm near the end of my row. This is my last yarn over. I'm just gonna do a purl, purl, and knit the last stitch. Okay, this was row number 19. We got our tiny holes, everything looks fine, and we're moving on to row number 20. Just gonna mark it here so we know this is row number 20. If you want to do a stitch count check, we should have 36 stitches on our needles right now. I counted mine and I have 36, so that's right. Row 20, on the front of the work, we're just gonna start our central pattern, which is a tiny cable here. Don't know if you can see, we have a little cable. Okay, slip 1. We are now reintroducing the moss stitch pattern. Yeah, I've done it on the side here as well. So slip 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and continue like this. We should have, so including the stitch that we just slipped, we should have 15 stitches of moss stitch. I've done my moss stitches. So like I said, including the first one which we slipped, we should have 15 stitches on this side. The next one we're just gonna slip, but please be careful to slip this stitch with the yarn in the back of your needle. Yeah, so not in the front, in the back of the work. Just slip one, just move it all across your needle without working it. Next we're gonna make one. You can make one by any method you prefer. I'm just gonna do a simple fold of my yarn on the needle, but I'm just going to do this trick, and I'm going to twist it because I want a tight, there might be other methods, I don't know, I'm not very good, I'm still learning, so I do what I think and I just share it with you guys. Alright, I'm just gonna make a little adjustment, make it look better. We're gonna make it purlwise, this one. Okay, so I got a stitch now, an extra stitch. Next I'm going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, make one more. So we're starting to do some increases because we need it for the front of the booty. We need to do some increases, otherwise it will not look nice and it will not fit properly. So I've done the same trick again. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some other methods probably way better than mine, but this is just a classical. Okay, so made one, knitted 4, made one more, slip the next stitch with the yarn in the back of your needle, the working needle, slip, and now we should have another 15 stitches left on this side, and we're gonna reintroduce the moss stitch pattern. So purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, the easy pattern. Purl 1, knit 1. I'm gonna quickly do these till the end of the row. There we go. Purl 1, knit 1 and knit the last stitch. Okay, that was row number 20, and we actually started our pattern. Next one, row number 21. It's a row on the wrong side of the work. As usual, slip the first stitch, and now we continue with our moss stitch pattern. So again, I had a purl on the previous row, I'm going to do a knit now. Next one was a knit, I'm going to do a purl. So always the opposite. It was a purl, we're doing a knit. It was a knit, we're doing a purl, knit, purl. Yeah, it's very easy. Just always remember you have to do the opposite. If it was a purl, you just do a knit. If it was a knit, we just do a purl. Like this. Until we get the stitch that we slipped, which is this one here. You can see it's got a bit of a shape. It's this one here. Okay, so I got 2 more stitches until I get to it. Knit, purl, and I got to the slip stitch. Hope you can see, sorry, the angle of the camera is a bit. There you go, that's there. This stitch we're just gonna purl. So purl one, followed by a knit one, the stitch that we added, the make one on the front side, and then we have 4 purls, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the stitch that we added previously. This one we're gonna knit, so knit 1. We reach the stitch that we slipped on the front side, is this one here, so I'm gonna purl, so we're gonna purl these ones, and now we're back on the moss stitch pattern. So we had the purl here, we're gonna do a knit. Always we're gonna have 15 stitches on this side, 15 stitches on this side, so that's the easy part. What's going on in the middle, that's where we're gonna have our central pattern and the increases. So I'm just continuing, I'm talking and I'm working. This was a knitted, it's gonna be a purl. It was a purl, it's gonna be a knit is going to be a purl, and so on until the end of the row, like this. We always have 15 stitches on each side, that's including the edges. Okay, I'm gonna knit here, a purl, and knit the last stitch. Okay, turn around, completed one more row. Next one is row number 22. For row number 22, slip one as usual, then continue with the next 14 stitches in moss stitch until you reach this one. Let me see, oh I lost it, this one here. So slip one, do 14 stitches of moss stitch, and I'll meet you at the slip stitch. Got one more stitch, so I've done a purl, now it's a knit. Okay, after a couple of more rows you'll be able to see it quite easily where the moss stitch ends and the central part it's starting. Okay, I have a total of 15 stitches worked, yeah, including the slipped one, the first one. Got 15 on this side. Next we're gonna slip this one again with make sure your yarn is behind your working needle. Next, make one. You can also make one using this strand here if you prefer like that, this one here. I don't want to do it like this in this case, only because it gives me the impression that the work looks a little bit tight, so I prefer to do it like that. Just out of nowhere add one more, doing like that, just fold over your finger, and I like to twist it, so I'll take it from the back and then put it back on my left side needle, and then work purlwise, because it just gives the legerity of the work, like it's not too tight. That's why I chose this method for now. Okay, so I've added one, I've worked it as a purl one, and we reached the 4 knit. Yep. Now we're gonna do this mini cable. It's a tiny cable I have here as a central motif, as central pattern. it's a 4 stitches cable. So now we're going to do the first twist. So this is row number 22, and we're going to make the first twist of our cable. Because it's such a small cable, if you want, you can use some an extra needle, or I don't know, a crochet or something. But what I do, I just slowly release them, all 4 of them, and then I pick the first 2 like that, and the next 2, and just twist them. Basically, that's all we need to do. Yep, twist them, place them back on my left hand needle, and then knit all 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's it. We made our first twist. Doesn't look much at the moment, but that's all we have to do. Purl 1, make 1 again. Again, my not so nice method, but it does the job. Okay, just make a little adjustment, make sure the stitch looks alright. Next one is the one we need to slip. So slip 1, yarn behind your working needle, slip 1, and now we are back on the 15 stitches with the moss stitch. Previous one was a knit, don't know if you can see. Now I'm going to do a purl, knit, purl, and just carry on like this, and remember to knit the last stitch so you'll get this pretty edge. Yeah. Row number 23, it's a wrong side row. Slip the first stitch, now moss stitch again. I had a purl, I'm going to do a knit, purl, knit, purl, continue until you have worked 15 stitches altogether, including the edge one. Completed my 15 stitches. I've reached the skipped stitch, the one we are skipping on the front. Yeah, and this is going to be a purl, so purl 1, followed by knit 2, 1, 2, purl 4, the cable. We got a 4 stitch cable, 1, 2, 3, 4, knit 2 again, 1 and 2. We reach the slip stitch. Here it is, this one. So this one is going to be a purl and moss stitch again until the end of the row. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Continue like this, finishing this row, knit the last one, and then we'll start row number 24. Row number 24, slip the first stitch, then continue with moss stitch for another 14 stitches. Yeah, as usual, opposite, we always work the opposite. If it was knitted, we're going to do a purl. If it was a purl, we're going to do a knit, and continue like that until you have a total of 15 stitches, or until you reach this stitch, the one that we need to slip. Is becoming more and more visible now, so it makes it easier for us. I've completed the most stitches. I've reached this one, yeah, so I'm gonna slip. Always remember, always slip it with your yarn behind the needle. So slip one, make one by any method you prefer, just gonna twist and make one, purl the next two, one, two, knit four, the ones for the cable, 2, 3, 4, purl the next two, 1, 2, make one, okay, I made it. I'm gonna twist it once or twice just to make sure it doesn't leave a hole behind. So I made another one. Now yarn behind the needle, skip one or slip one, just don't work, we just slip it, just move it across, and now we go more stitch again until the end of the row. Don't forget to knit the last one. Okay, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit the last one. Next, row number 25, slip the first stitch, you know the drill already. Same pattern, more stitch pattern, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, yeah, until you worked 15 stitches, or until we reach this one, the one that we slipped. I've reached the slipped stitch, which is going to be a purl once more. So purl one, knit the next 3. If you remember, we had 2 on the previous rows, we made 1, so now we have 3. So knit 3, 2, 3, purl the next 4, the stitches of the cable. So purl 1, 2, 3, and 4, knit the next 3, 1, 2, and 3. This is our slipped stitch, or skipped, or whatever you prefer to call it, which is a purl. Purl the next one, starting to be visible, and again more stitch till the end of the row. Purl, knit, purl, and knit. Next is row number 26. On this row we're gonna have another twist of this little cable, so like we have here, we will be here somewhere with our work. Here you can see the stitches that we are slipping without working from one needle to another. See, they just create this separation between the moss stitch and the front of the shoe pattern. So we are here somewhere. We're gonna do this twist now. Okay, Row number 26, slip the first stitch. Your moss pattern starts with a purl, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and continue until you reach this, the stitch that we need to slip. Have reached the separation stitch, so called, and with the yarn behind my needle I'm just gonna move it across without working it. Okay, now I'm gonna make one, twist it, just adjust a little bit to make sure it's not way too loose, and just purl, do a purl, purl the next 3 as well. Yeah, so as you can see here we got the separation stitch, and then all of them are purls, and then we knit for the cable, and then it's purls again and the separation stitch. That's how it goes. So purl the next 3, they're visible, 1, 2, 3. We're going to have another twist here. I'm going to do it again the easy way, or at least it's easier. I think it's easy. It's only 4 stitches, so if we release them very slowly, yeah, we go 4 free stitches here. Just pick the first 2 through the back, then pick the next 2, twist around, place them back on your left hand side needle, and that's it. And now knit 4, all 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we got ourselves another little twist. Knit here. That's the first one here, and that's the second one. Okay, purl the next 3, 1, 2, 3, make one, pick it up and twist it. Okay, tight, pull it tight a bit and work it purl-wise. Place your yarn behind the working needle, just slip the next one, yeah, just move it across, moss stitch again, starting with the purl, purl, knit, purl. We're gonna end with the knitted on the edge. Next is row number 27, which is a wrong side row. Slip the first one, moss stitch pattern starting with the knit stitch, so knit, purl, knit, purl, and so on. Yep, for the first 15 stitches, or if you don't want to count, just look for the slipped stitch. I've reached the slip stitch, so it's going to be a purl. We always purl this one, the slip stitch on the back. So it's a purl followed by 4 knitted stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Purl the next 4, the cable ones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. knit the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, purl the one we slipped on the front, we now purl, and again moss stitch starting with the knit stitch, knit, purl, knit, purl, continue until the end of the row, and with the knitted stitch. Row number 28, slip the first one, moss stitch again starting with the purl stitch, so we purl, knit, purl, knit, continue like this until you reach this segregation stitch, let's call it. I've reached the stitch that we are to slip, yeah, always with the yarn in the back of the needle, slip the next one and make one. I've done it like this all this project. I'm just gonna pick that one up, twisted, and purl. Okay, purl the next 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, knit 4, the cable ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, purl the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn in, make one, like this, like this. This is how I've been doing it. If you prefer in a different method, just use a different method, it's fine, as long as we make one purlwise, yarn behind my right needle, slip one, and again the pattern, and it's starting with the purl stitch, purl, knit, purl the next one, knit, continue to complete the row. Next row, row number 29, slip the first one. Again we have the pattern, we're gonna start with the knit stitch, knit, purl, knit, purl, until you reach the slip stitch, or you can count 15 stitches. I have reached the stitch previously slipped, so this is a purl, purl 1, knit the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, purl 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, knit the next 5, you can see them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, purl the one we slipped on the previous row, and we are back at our pattern, and it's starting with the knit stitch, so knit, purl, continue. Row number 30, it's the row where we're gonna have our last twist on the cable. So slip 1, pattern again, moss stitch, starting with the pearl. So pearl, knit, pearl, knit, continue until you reach this stitch. I've reached the segregation stitch. I have the yarn in the back of the needle. I'm gonna slip, make 1. It's the last row when we're gonna make stitches. Okay, so purl it, the one we just made, purl the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we reached our cable, and we're gonna have the last twist. So once more I'm gonna show you. Just release slowly in the 4, pick up these first 2 through the back, then pick up these 2. You have to do it slowly to make sure they don't come undone. So I have them like this, just gonna twist, they go back on this needle because we haven't worked them, and now we have to knit 4. It's just swapping them around really, that's all it is. 2, 3, 4, purl the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, make 1, the last one, last increase on our cute booty. Just adjust a little bit and make a purl. Okay, yarn in the back, slip the next one and moss stitch again, and we're starting with a purl. Purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, continue till the end of the row. Row number 31, so 3, 1, oops, yep. Before we begin this row, I would like us to make a stitch count check, because on the previous row we had our last increases for this pattern, and we should now have 48 stitches. So 48 stitches on the needle, because we're gonna stop increasing now. 31, row 31, it's a wrong side row. Slip the first one, knit 1, purl 1, continue again until you reach this stitch. So, or you can count, altogether you should have 15 stitches in moss stitch. Purl 1, I've reached the slipped stitch, so it's a purl, purl, knit the next 6, knit 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, purl 4, the cable stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4, knit the next 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, purl 1, double check it's the one we skipped, yes, or purl 1, and we have again moss stitch, and we are starting it with a knit. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, continue. On the next row, it's row 32. It's a front side row. We're just gonna purl all stitches. Well, slip the first one and then purl all of them. We don't do any more pattern, no more increases. We finished with the pattern, so we're gonna purl all the stitches except for the last one, which is a knit, so we can have this nice edge. And once you've done that, we're gonna meet again. So continue with purls. My last 2 stitches, so I have one more purl and then the last one, which I always knit. Turn around, and for the next 5 rows, this is exactly what we're gonna do. Just purl, except for the first one which we slip and the last one which we knit. We just purl all the stitches for another 5 rows. So this is the part we are working on now. We finished with the pattern and we are here now. So repeat the purls for 5 more rows. Completed my 5 rows of purls, and that resulted in a row count in my case, and if you work the same you should have the same, 37 completed rows. So the next one will be row 38, and on this row we're gonna start working for the sole. I have segregated, if you remember, after we finished all increases, I said we have to have on 48 stitches on the needles. So that means I've segregated 10 stitches, the middle 10, and we're gonna work short rows and complete like this, like this. So we're gonna work short rows and close off all the edge stitches. So we have 19 stitches on the side, the 10 that we're gonna use for the short rows, and then another 19. I've just applied these markers to make it more visible. That's all there is. So I'm gonna start row 38 by slipping one, purl the next 18 to reach my first marker, and then I'll probably keep it in place until it becomes, the short rows will become more visible. We're nearly finished. After this row we don't really need to count the rows anymore, as every time we just close off stitches from the edge. So just simple purls, purl, purl, purl. There we go. I'm just gonna keep it for now. If you don't want to use any markers, don't, but be careful with the stitch count. And now we're gonna start the 10 for the short rows. This basically will be our first short row. So purl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Number 10, which is the last one, it's going to be purled together with the first of the 19. Let's remove the marker now. So this will be stitch number 10 for the part of the sole, and I'm just gonna purl it together with the first one on this needle. So purl two together and turn your work around, slip the first, the one we just made, purl the next 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yeah, so altogether we have 9 stitches now. We can notice the segregation here, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And again, this will be the stitch number 10. Let me remove this marker. It doesn't want to come out. Okay, and now we're going to purl the last stitch, stitch number 10, with the first one of this series. So purl two together, turn around, slip the first two, well, first one, sorry. Always when you slip the first one, make sure you have the yarn in front of your working needle. So slip the first one, purl 8, purl 8, and now purl the last two together. So the last stitch of the sole with the first one here, turn around and just repeat the same. Continue to repeat like this. It's starting to form already and it's starting to segregate here. Continue doing exactly the same thing, just purl the last one, you purl together with the first one on the on this section. When you have 3 stitches left on each side, you stop and we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna form the heel of the booty. So continue exactly the same until you have 3 stitches remaining on each side. I have finished working all the short rows and I now have only 3 stitches left on each side. So what we're going to do next, slip the first one, then purl the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. Now purl these two together and purl this one together with the first one here. Yeah, so we're gonna have only 2 left. Turn, slip the first stitch, always keep the yarn in front of your working needle, slip the first one, and now we want to purl the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Purl these two together and this one with the first one on the needle. There we go, we now have 2 left on each side. Turn, slip the first one, and now we want to purl the next 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Next 2 together, and then the last one together with the first one here. Turn around, we're nearly finished. Slip the first one, purl the next 3 this time. So purl 1, 2, 3, purl the next 2 together, and the last one with the first one there. Now we only got 1 left on each side. Slip the first one, purl 2 1, 2, purl the next two together, and the last two together. Turn around, slip the first one, purl 1, purl the next two together, and the last two together. We're gonna turn around, and now we're gonna purl these two together and the next two together, and you just slip the first one like this over the last one. Careful not to drop this one. And this is it. We can cut our yarn off. Finished. I will pull through this one. I'll pull through this loop and just have a little knot in here. And this is our booty. It's very pretty. It's not blocked, it's not washed or anything, so this is the raw product. All we need to do now is sew it on. That's why I said at the beginning it would be good to leave a tail on so we can sew it together. Make sure it's properly aligned. Yeah, so you want the holes to be in line, you want these 3 rows to be in line, everything. I've just finished sewing my booty. As I said, it's not blocked or anything, it's just how it looks like. And I'm just gonna slip one of these inside, can give it a little bit of a shape. Right, all it's missing now is its finishing touches. I'm gonna start with this tiny edge here, which I made in pink, and for this one I've used a size 2.5mm hook, crochet hook, and I'm gonna show you in a minute how to do it. Of course it's optional. If you don't like it, you don't want to do it, you can just leave it like that. It's perfectly fine. It looks pretty either way. So let's begin doing that one. To do this one, we're just going to join in anywhere you like. I've done on the edge right here, and basically segregates the top from the bottom of the booty. So I'm just going to make a slip knot, and I'm going to join in somewhere on the side, let's say here, yeah, and there. Let's join in here, pull through. So I'm joining through the back of these stitches, and we're gonna start just, it's very easy. Chain 1, I'm gonna use both strands just to give it a bit more, make it a bit more secure. Then I'm gonna pull it through the back. Okay, so this is where we are actually working in here. Just chain 1, and then insert your hook behind the actual stitches, the knitted stitches, pull through and pull through again. We're basically making single crochets, but we're making behind the knitted stitches. Don't know if you can see, here are the knitted stitches, so I'm just pull through, make a single crochet through the back. I've done it a bit too tight. Try to not to make it too tight. It's just a touch of color, really, just for cosmetic. So go through the back of the stitch, pull through, rub your yarn, pull through again, single crochets through the back of the knitted stitch, and we're gonna go all the way around, following this this row of knitted stitches. Don't know if you can see. If you remember, we've done 3 of these, and then it's right here in this gap, right here. I'm going around doing this edge with pink. So for the next one, again, insert your hook behind the stitch, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through again, make a single crochet, go underneath the stitch, make a single crochet. If you don't like to do this using a crochet, and if you're skilled enough, you can do it with a needle. I don't know how to do it, I've tried, but I prefer to use the crochet. So just carry on like this all the way around. Insert your hook underneath the stitch, pull your yarn through, and make a single crochet. Careful not to slip on a different row. It's not gonna look very well. And this is how we're gonna keep going all the way around. Go underneath. That's it. Pull yarn, make a single crochet. And again, go behind the knitted stitch, pull through, make a single crochet. Carry on all the way around, just following this this edge. It's exactly like we've done it here. I have finished going around the booty with the contour. It looks alright, looks quite pretty. They look the same. Now what is missing is the cord and the pom-poms. So for the cord, for this one, I have worked around 43 centimeters, and that is, if I'm not wrong, it's about 17 inches. So in order to ensure I have enough yarn to do that, we normally have to put aside from the ball of yarn, without cutting it, about 3 times the length that the cord is going to be. But I left a little bit extra, so I think I have about 150 centimeters, or more or less 57 inches. So I made a sign here. I had left my crochet. What I'm gonna do now is just make a slip knot on your crochet, and it's very easy. Then this is your free yarn. Yeah, it's not attached to the ball of yarn. This is the one attached to the ball of yarn, and you're just gonna wrap around this one and pull through. The one is still attached to your ball of yarn. Wrap around the crochet, pull through, wrap around, pull through, It's very easy, and you just carry on. Just gonna carry on. I will do about 42-43 centimeters length, so about 17 inches of this crochet little cord. So goes around the crochet, pulls through, on the crochet, pull through, it's very easy to make, just need a bit of patience. So I can make about 17 inches of it. I'll carry on and I'll be measuring from time to time, and I'll get back when I have the required length to show you how to close it, how to finish it off. So wrap around the crochet, pull through, wrap around your crochet, pull through. I have completed the required length. As I said to you before, I was planning to do around 42-43 centimeters, so that's how I got now, nearly 43, and that is about 17 inches. So I'm just gonna show you how to close it off now. I still have this loop left on my crochet. I'm just gonna try to zoom in a bit. And that's it. This is how it looks like now. I'm just gonna cut the yarn. No longer need this one. And pull this one through. And make a little knot here at the end. Okay, and that's it, our cord done. I'm just gonna make another tiny knot just to make sure it doesn't come undone, and here we go. This is our cord. Now all it's missing to be exactly the same as this one is two little pom-poms. So I have here one. I made one behind the camera. I'm quite happy with the size of it. I think it's pretty similar size to the other one. Maybe this one is slightly bigger, but with pom-poms, they're never perfect, at least not in my case. I always have to trim them off. I got this one done, and I'm just going to show you how to do one quickly. I have here my ball of yarn. I'm using pink. And as I said to you at the beginning of this video, even I have all those pom-pom makers, the perfect tool for this, at least for this size of pom-poms, I found it to be a fork, just a simple fork. So I'm just going to wrap around this fork. I'm going to wrap around the yarn, sorry, a few times. I don't count them. I just make an approximate. So that's all you need to do. Just wrap around as much yarn as you prefer. Not too much, because it's a little pom-pom. You don't want to waste too much yarn. So just wrap around it. I didn't count it. I just based on visual, like how much yarn I put on each. So probably, I don't know, some people do count it. I think I have about 150 times at least wrapping around. And just wrap the yarn. So I'm quite happy with the amount of yarn I've wrapped around this fork. This is how much I've used for the previous 3. So this is how it looks like, more or less. You feel free to wrap more if you prefer, but just be careful not to overdo it, because it's only tiny pom-poms, so you don't want them to be extremely full. Now I have here some yarn, just a piece of yarn which I've put into, yeah, without cutting it. So I'm just gonna put between the two teeth of the fork, yeah, like this, and then yeah, through the middle, and then I'm gonna pull this through the loop. It helps with tightening your yarn, so you should just move it around. Be careful not to tie too much, or be careful not to lose your yarn to come off from the fork before you're actually ready to take it off. And now I'm just gonna tie a knot. My yarn is quite thin, so I have to be careful not to break it. Okay, I'm quite happy with this tension. Hopefully that'll be enough. So just tie a knot as tight as you can without breaking the yarn, especially in my case. Okay, and I'm gonna make another knot just in case. So one strand goes through here and the other one through here. It's very easy, and everyone has a fork in the house. You don't have to have any fancy pom-pom makers, so you can use a fork anytime. The only problem is you can only make small pom-poms using a fork. If you can think of other tools, then it's even better. Right, this is how it looks like. It's tight. Some people prefer to cut the yarn when it's still on the fork. I struggle a bit with that, but if you have a sharp cutter or something, you can do that. I don't mind taking it out, or maybe use a crochet. Take it out on a crochet like this. And another one here. I struggle a bit to cut it when it's still on the fork, so you can do this as well. Just take it out, and all we have to do now, if you never made a pom-pom before, just have to cut the yarn across here. Maybe use a better pair of scissors, not like mine, which is not very sharp. And there we go. Just make sure you cut all of them. Yeah, done that. Here we go. One side is done. Now I have to cut over the other side like this. And we almost have a pom-pom. Almost. Not far, but just have a look. Make sure you cut all of them. Yeah, looks like. Okay. Now give it a good shake, and it will magically turn into a little pom-pom, which is not very even right now. So now comes the shaping, which is quite a messy stage. So that's why I have here a piece of cardboard, so you might want to use one as well. And now all we have to do is just to trim it to get it this, from this shape to this shape. Yeah, so trim it, trying to make it as round as possible, and try not to trim too much, and make sure you end up with a similar size to this one, to the first one. Like you can make 4 in the same time, not 2 and 2 like I've done, but I've done 2 initially for for my first booty, so I can show you how it's gonna look like in the end. And then I saved making one pom-pom so we can do it together on this video. So carry on trimming it until you're happy with. For me, it's very difficult to stop trimming because it's never perfect enough. So it'll be better if we do this off camera, so we won't be too long. So once I'm happy with my result, I'll get back to you. I have finished with the pom-pom. I think it's reasonably good. It's not perfect, but as I said, I have to control myself because otherwise I'll be trimming constantly. I think they're quite the same size, so I've attached it to my cord, and I'm going to show you how to attach in a moment. But before we do that, I recommend you you place the cord in place, because it makes it easier before you attach both pom-poms. So if I just put it across, I'll show you what to do, how to get rid of these ends. Here, still got some ends, and just gonna pull it through each hole. Made some adjustments later. Just pull it through the holes that we made when we was knitting. This one and the last one. Here we go. Nice. That's it. We're almost done. We'll be done very soon. With this one, how to attach the second pom-pom. I have here one of the yarns, yeah, because it was in two. So what I'm going to do now, I have a needle to it, and I'm just going to go and sew it to the cord. So here it is. Then just pull through. Don't worry about these ends here. I'm gonna hide them in a minute. Okay. And then pull as tight as you can and put it through your pom-pom. Yep. Pull again. If you can guess around where your pom-pom is tied, you can go across. Here it is. Here is mine. That's the yarn I've used. So if I go around it, it'll give extra security, so I'm sure it won't come undone. And then again, go through the cord. Let's do this one more time. Okay. And again through my pom-pom, right through it. It's fine. No harm will happen. And I know it was around here somewhere. Got a bit to trim here. Always a bit to trim. And I will go around it again and pull tight. This should do for one side. I'm gonna do the other side now. Yeah, because we have one more thread. Just gives extra security to make sure it doesn't come off, hopefully. And again, I'm gonna go through the cord and right through the heart of the pom-pom. Here we go. Through the middle, ideally. And then again, if you can find the yarn where it was tied, just tight around it. I think it's there. Let's go through again. Through your cord probably once or there. Give a good shake to this one, will come back on shape. Okay, now I have those two. Yep, I'm just gonna make a knot between them two, a tight knot, as tight as you can. Make another one, make sure it doesn't come undone. There we go. I think it's quite secure now. You can have a little pull just to see if it's gonna hold. And all these, you can use the pom-pom to hide them. So I'm just gonna cut them off, and then they're gonna look like they're part of our pom-pom. So just give a little shake, you know, just a little, make sure it comes back to the normal shape. I'm probably gonna have another go at trimming all of them behind the camera, but for now they look acceptable. I'm terrible with pom-poms. There we go, and that's it. Here it is. Let's make some adjustments. They're a little bit long, but when you're doing a bow, it allows you some extra. So just in case you want to make a prettier bow, maybe a double bow or something. So as I said, mine have about 42 centimeters or about 17 inches. If you think they're too long, you can make them shorter for the pair that you're making. I just thought let them be a bit longer. Never know how they react after being washed or being worn a lot of the time. That's it. So these are the booties I wanted to present you today. I hope you like them, and I really hope you're gonna have a go at doing them. It's not that difficult like it looks like, and I think they're very pretty. I think they're quite cute, and they make an adorable gift, or I don't know, for a baby or for an expectant mother. And for my next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make an absolutely cute baby bonnet style hat to go with these. So in a similar style. So if you want to make like a little set or something like that, of course you can change the colors. You can make them in blue if you prefer. So if you like this video, please remember to give me a like and subscribe to my channel, so this way you won't miss my next tutorials. And I really hope you're gonna have a go at trying these, and if you have any problems, you can leave me a comment or send me an email, or you can find me. I left you all the details in the video description. So I really hope you're gonna have a go. I hope you like them, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.